Hey, what's up, people? My name is Kalendu Musimi. Kama kawaida, when you see me, it's an exclusive interview about to go down. And I'm seated next to my colleague, a friend and radio personality. Please give it up for the one and only Mondo. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. You know how to drum roll for yourself.
I have to drum roll kidogo.
Yeah.
Usipojisherekea nani atakusherekea?
Yeah. Do you know how to alilililili?
Really? No, it won't slap the same way. Yeah. So you know that's a woman's thing, yeah?
Yeah.
Alilililili wakishikana wengi.
Yeah.
Lakini mimi nikisema sasa itasoundaje? Alilililili. Yeah, boss. It won't be the same.
Yeah. Mike, how have you been?
I'm well. Life is going great. I thank God. I am doing a lot with my life nowadays, and I can say that I'm actually really, really happy and grateful with the space I'm in right now. Yeah.
And of course, you're in the space where you're most talented, apart from radio, also podcast, which is close to radio. You've started your own podcast. Talk to us about this podcast and what it is about.
It's called the Heart to Heart podcast. Basically, it's about navigating relationships and life in general in your 30s and 40s. A lot of the times you find a lot of people in those age brackets, especially late 30s into your 40s, there's that sense of people feeling like, oh my God, time is over for me to be able to do what I dream of doing or do things that I said I'm going to do. So my better half and I sat down and we decided why not share our story as we navigate through these challenges, because she's in her late 40s, I'm in my 40s, late 30s, sorry, at late 40s. Late 30s, I'm in my early 40s. And it's an interesting dynamic just to be able to share real stories that people are afraid to talk about, things that someone in their 38 or someone who's 43 will sit down and be like, oh my God, maybe I'm not comfortable telling people I'm not where I want to be, or I've not achieved what I wanted to achieve, but to let them know that it's okay and you truly can start again. Yeah.
Are you guys giving your own personal experiences when you are in your 20s and 30s? You're just kind of like Googling these things and stuff like that?
No, we are not. So fundamentally, it's based off the lessons in the books of the Bible, but now we relate them into our own lives. As for example, like if you notice how the episodes go, it started at Genesis, then Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and it's going to go through each of the books of the Bible. Now, in each book, there's a lesson, a main lesson that God tries to teach us, right? And we try and take that lesson and see how do we put it in our relationship? How do we utilize it in our relationship? What mistakes did we make in the past? Had we known that this is the instruction of God, would our past have been different? And so that's basically the basis of it, to have a heart-to-heart conversation about real things, whether it's from the past or whether it is aspirations of the future, but all of it is real, and to open that space for anyone who's going through something similar and doesn't want to talk about it or can't talk about it, to be able to feel like they're not alone. This is something that everyone is going through. Yeah.
So what is your relationship with God?
Mine. It's improving. Yeah. I can tell you that it's improving. I mean, I go to church every Sunday. There's a culture of prayer in my house every day. And it's a good thing. It's a good feeling just to be able to be close to God. And because sometimes life can be very stressful. Na haujui utafanya nini? So in those moments, what do? You lock yourself in your room, say a prayer. You can be driving, say a prayer. You can go to church and, speak your heart out. Like, it's something that I'm starting to practice more now that I'm in my early 40s. Yeah.
And of course, where can we get this podcast? Is it on YouTube? Is it on a streaming platform?
It's on. You can find it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and also on YouTube. It's called Heart to Heart with Mike and Shiku. But also all other podcast hosting sites that are available. You can also just basically search for it and you'll find it there. Yeah.
And so far also, what's the reception from your fans?
Oh, really, really great, actually. I was surprised about how many people actually relate to the things we talk about. It's been just this journey of a lot of people feeling like, oh my gosh, I went through that. Oh my gosh, I am going through that. And people share these things with us, whether it's through DMs or whether it's on email or even on comments. Basically, they just say, my gosh, that is so relatable. And that was the goal. That is the idea, to make people feel like, you know what, you're not alone. So don't feel overwhelmed. And even if you feel overwhelmed, you can always start again. Yeah.
And of course, yourself and Shiku have been trending so much on X and most of the social media platforms. I saw you, the very first time I saw you with Shiku was at an event. And then the next time I'm seeing you, you're trending on social media. But to just get the context, to just bring it, yani utupeleke nyuma, where you guys meet and how you guys met.
Interesting story. It was actually last year. You remember when Boyz II Men came to Kenya? Mm-hmm. The same night Boyz II Men were supposed to perform was the same day I was doing an on-ground activation for one of Classic 105 clients. I remember I really wanted to go for the Boyz II Men concert. I mean, this was like a childhood group I'd grown up listening to. So I didn't want to go for that activation for work. But I was told by my boss at the time, no, you must attend. You're the only one who can do it. So I decided, okay, fine. I'm going to go all the way to that venue. I wouldn't say where it is. I'm going to go to the activation venue and then finish up, then rush back to Kiambu Road. At the time, I used to live on Kiambu Road. Take a shower, change, go somewhere. I was supposed to meet some friends. We were going for pre-drinks, and then after pre-drinks, we head on to Uhuru Gardens for the concert. When I got there, there was this lady walking around, and she was like really, really gorgeous. And I kept on just finding myself staring at her for no reason. I was like, wow, who is that? And I find out now in hindsight, apparently she was also checking me out and going like, oh, who's that guy? And we started talking, and because she's one of the people who are on ground for the company, and she was actually my point person to coordinate with for the activation. We talked a lot, and we started talking about work. First of all, started from work, then it just went into her tattoos, it went into personal life, and then she happened to mention that she can't believe. Oh, sorry, I followed her on social media first. And then once we followed each other on Instagram, I noticed she had posted a story and she said, I can't believe I'm not going for Boyz II Men. And she also verbalized it to me because I told her about my plans for later in the evening. So I was thinking to myself, this is a beautiful girl. She's really fun to talk to. I was enjoying myself. I'm like, no, I really want this conversation to continue. So I told her, I'm going to make sure I get you those tickets. Shiku, of course, being Shiku, said, no, it's okay. You don't have to, and blah, blah, blah. I told you, don't worry. I'll make a few phone calls. We'll get the tickets. I called everyone I knew. First, my initial instinct was to buy, but they were sold out. Yeah. But so I had to get someone who bought a ticket, but is not going. So I called everyone I knew who had bought a ticket. Hey, bro, niaje, what? Luckily, I stumbled onto one person who said they bought the ticket, but they don't think that they're going to go. Yeah, and so I told him, how about I give you a refund for your money? You give me the ticket. So that's what I did. He gave me the ticket. I went, picked it up. And please note, at this time, Shiku still doesn't believe we're going because now activation is over. I've gone home. I've told her I'll pick you up at a certain time. And she keeps on calling me and telling me, like, Mike, it's okay. Like, we don't have to go. I just told her, meet me at T-Mall Roundabout. At this time, I'll be there. Yeah. And I went home, changed, showered. My friends had already gone to the venue, so I drove to T-Mall Roundabout. She was there. No, actually, she came later. She came like 5 minutes later. And then I showed her ticket, and that's when she was like, oh my God, I'm really actually going? I'm like, hey, in fact, here, hold it, it's yours. And that's how Shiku and I first met. We went on a date on the first time we met, and we went for the Boyz II Men concert.
Wow.
As the first date.
Would you describe it as love at first sight? Because that particular day, and most things are happening at that particular day.
I wouldn't say love at first sight. I think we just had a connection, and we bonded a lot based off a lot of our experiences in the past. And we talked a lot, and it felt nice talking to someone. You know, like when you're going through something, and then you have that one person who's giving you an ear, like, talk to me about this, and you listen to what she says, and we just kept talking and talking. We didn't stop. It was insane. And even after the concert, and I dropped her home, I was like, even the next day, we kept on talking. Like, the conversations just never ended. It was back and forth, back and forth. So I think we grew into it. I wouldn't say love at first sight, but we definitely did have a sense of an attraction. Like, hey, maybe there's something here.
What do you think now? It's almost now 1 year. You guys will be celebrating.
Yeah, it's going to be 1 year, June 11th.
Oh, when is
June 11th is when the Boyz II Men concert happened.
Yeah, June 11th is going to be. When is it going to be? In 4 days. Or when exactly? Which day specifically? It's this week. Next week. It's on Tuesday next week. You're gonna be celebrating your first anniversary.
Now it depends on how you look at it. Now Shiku says our first anniversary is the first time I asked her to be my girlfriend. Yeah, but I usually say it's the first time we met. So for me, I'm doing it June 11th because her birthday is also on June 15th. So I want to find a way to like celebrate her to make next week basically a week of just celebrating her anniversary and also her birthday.
Right. And then just looking back in the months that you guys have been together, what would you say is something that you like about Shiku?
Oh, that's a very good question. I love the biggest thing that I like about her is just how nurturing and caring she is. Shiku is a very caring person. It's actually sometimes a bit ridiculous. She cares deeply. And so, I don't know, it could be a good thing, but people may also say it's a bad thing because that means if you let her down, it hurts deeper. Yeah. But I love that. I love that she cares. She's a good mom. My gosh, wow. Sometimes I look at her and I'm like, damn. Before kidogo. Yeah, she's an amazing mother. She is hardworking. She is an extremely good planner. Shiku can plan to you a day for you down to the seconds. Yeah, so even if it's a Sunday, for instance, and we are all at home and everything, she would tell us, okay, we're going to wake up at this time, breakfast will be at this time, we're going to go to church here, after church we're going to go have lunch here, after lunch we're going to come back, kids can go for some quiet time, us we can chill, watch a movie. Like she'll tell you the entire program of the day. I've never seen a woman who plans that good. Yeah.
And when did you guys decide, let's come together and have our blended families together, and how do you guys make that work?
It wasn't necessarily a decision. I mean, because we were spending a lot of time together. Of course, then, we didn't introduce any of our kids to each other immediately. But once I met Shiku's kids before Shiku met my kids. So when I met Shiku's kids for the first time, there was no plan necessarily. It was those ones of, we were hanging out and the kids loved having me around, and that time we were living in separate apartments, but it was literally down the road. It was like, because I moved to Lavington, so when I moved to Lavington, crazy story, and by the way, I moved to Lavington because of Shiku. Yeah, I moved to Lavington, because it was just really a hard commute. Every time you have to meet, you're coming from Kiambu Road all the way here, and what I was paying there was literally similar to what I was going to pay here. So I figured, why not? It's even closer to work, makes it easy for me to commute. So I spent time with the kids and we were having fun, and every day was just this whole adventure, And at some point, even I was going to see my kid. I went with Shiku and she met my daughter, and, we went and spent the whole day together. And we just kind of felt like we both are just really, really comfortable around each other's kids and really okay with each other's kids being around. So it wasn't necessarily a decision, but it's more of those ones of we accepted each other and we understood that this person comes with these kids. And so that's just how it's going to be. Yeah. And so even when someone asks me today, how many kids do I have? I usually say I've got 5 kids. I don't say I have 2 kids, right? I don't say those are her kids, or either does she say these are Mike's kids. Yeah. Even at home, if one day you're lucky to pass by my house, you'll see there's even a room for all kids. Like all kids can fit in there. Yeah. Each child has their own room, guest room, and everything. So it's a nice blend of situations. How to make it work now is what is the kind of a game of patience, because you have to understand these children also have their other parents, right? And so you have to be very conscious and very sensitive to that matter, to that fact. Even how you relate with the kids, yeah, has to be with them recognizing that you recognize the other parent exists, right? So that you always make sure that they know that other parent is there. We encourage them to spend time with the other parents, and we tell them that's fine. And this is our home, but also on the other side, you also have another home. So it's just a balance, a delicate balance that you have to find. Yeah.
Has it been hard for you? Is it challenging for you?
Has it been challenging? In certain aspects, maybe. When dealing with, I think when dealing with where exes are involved, yeah, that's where the problem comes through. Where exes are involved, there are some exes who just decide to, become a little nastier than they're supposed to be. Yeah. And for me, that's where the challenge is. But in terms of just raising the kids, that's not an issue at all. Yeah.
How about co-parenting? What do you think good co-parenting is, according to you?
Good co-parenting is, first of all, accepting children from both sides. You have to accept those kids. The minute you're dating someone with a child, you need to understand that child is now your child also. Yeah. Their care, their health care, their clothing, their food, the roof over their head, that becomes yours now. It's your responsibility. And once you accept that is your child, you can never treat your child badly, right? So the parenting now becomes easier. But once you look at it, if you look at it like those are her kids and these are my kids, now that they're already, you've lost half the game. Half of it down the drain, because now you'll start doing special things for different kids. Yeah, it's the same way like when I spend time with for example, we're all together as a family. Yeah, I can't buy something for my daughter and not buy for the boys and for Shiku's eldest daughter. I must. Yeah, it can't be a thing where I'm choosing sides or I'm practicing favoritism. Yeah, no, that cannot exist. If the only part now where you have to also be very, very careful with is punishment, because there are parents who say no one should touch their kid, right? But once you talk to your partner and agree on what's the mode of operation here when it comes to, let's say, discipline, yeah, what do you usually do? Because maybe you have different disciplining modules that you use. Maybe one parent hits their kid, the other one doesn't. Maybe one parent does timeouts, the other one sends someone into a corner and to sit there and think about what they've done. So whichever way you look at it, you have to find a way. Discipline can be tricky, but the core of it is accept each other's kids as your own. Like, this is my child and I'm responsible for this child. Yes.
And because we, the public, are now involved in your relationship, we want to, poke holes. Do you have regrets in how you introduced your relationship with Shiku to the public?
No. It's my relationship. Why should I regret it? You see, this is one thing I don't understand about sometimes the masses. If I today decided to introduce my relationship by doing a TVC, television commercial, and I put up, I would like to announce Mike, Mondo and Shiku are dating. What's the issue? It's my relationship. Why do you feel bad about it? Why should that make you in any way feel like you've been attacked or you've been done something? Hiyo ni kama kusema, if Kiss 100 does an advertisement on a billboard, I should feel bad as a Classic 105 presenter and say, why isn't Classic 105 on a billboard? No, I shouldn't. That is them. You do you. So I have no regrets about how I introduced it. I've got no regrets about saying it proudly that is my woman, my fiance. I love her and I love the kids and everything. But so that's my life. Waswahili wanasema usichokila akikufanyi bas unye. Sindio? So it's my life, and if I choose to do it that way, I really don't care if someone hates on it or loves on it, as long as the people who matter support it, which is my parent who is happy with it, which is my friends who are happy with it, which is my extended family who are happy with it. Imagine that's it. Yeah, that is basically borderline it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And because of this particular relationship, Mike, you have trended not once, not twice on social media. Then, so far, then would you change anything in terms of how you handle the relationship in public?
No. In fact, even let them. This whole thing of trending and all of that. Trends are very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
People can trend for good things or for bad things. Yeah. The other day, there was a time someone posted some demand letter to me on X. I kept quiet. Let it be. That's your opinion. That's what you want to do, right? Makes you happy. Kudos to you. Yeah. Another day, I think after the podcast came out, I was seeing my name being dragged down the mud, being called all these words, asimp, I don't know, all these things. Fine, kudos, it's your opinion. Imagine you're entitled to it. That's okay, you can have it. But guess what? I'm still going home to a beautiful house with a loving wife, a loving family. I'm eating food and feeling great. In fact, today I'm going for date night. Like I'm happy. So I don't understand why it irks people that someone can be happy. What's the problem with that? If someone is happy, you should celebrate it. But I find that nowadays, I think maybe people sometimes project their own misery onto the world. And so whenever you see anything that is of joy, that is of celebrating a beautiful thing, all of a sudden you hate it and you don't want it to thrive. Today, Kalondu, if you go and you decide you're posting your boyfriend or you got married and people start saying things like muta achana tu or muta, you see, that is already, it's like you're cursing someone's happiness. Yeah, you're cursing. Why would you say that? You should celebrate that. Just like for them, if they find that kind of thing that they are looking for, I will be the first to celebrate it and tell you, man, they're good on you. Sema skule tunaenda kupeleka ngombe ni lini nikuje. Yeah. But I don't mind if people want to say what they want to say and to make the name trend. Kudos, by all means, do it. It's your right as a Kenyan, the freedom of expression. Yes.
But it's okay to also clear some things, because recently on X, people were speaking about you putting more attention on Shiku's part of the family compared to yours. Could you kindly clear these rumors?
Now, first of all, there's nothing to clear. Number one, I don't need to clear it. You see, that's the beauty of life, of free speech. I don't owe anyone an explanation as to why that is. Yeah? You should ask yourself a simple question, or they should ask themselves a simple question. If Shiku has agreed, being the smart woman and more intelligent woman she is, who sees me every day, if she's agreed to stay with me, do you think maybe perhaps she knows something that the rest of the world doesn't know? I'm not going to sit here and trash anyone, but let's be honest. Yeah? If I was a trashy human being, that I was ignoring my family, that I don't want to be with my family, right? She would have known, right? And she would have said something. She would have told me, Mike, what the hell? Yeah, this is not right. You should be doing that. I can't trust you with the kids if you are not even taking care of yours, right? She would have said something. But my situation is different. Just to add, like I said, it's always complicated where exes are concerned. The unfortunate thing about being a single dad in Kenya is that majority of the time, the children stay with the mother. Yeah? And their mothers control a lot of the decisions that a man, that regarding, let's say, how time is spent, regarding how finances are spent for the child. So a lot of decisions rest on them. So to say that I'm ignoring is to say or to assume that that power is mine. You understand? And in my case, the power is not mine. And so in Shiko's case, the power is hers. So that's why I can be with her, because she's the one with the kid. You understand? So it's not about I'm paying less attention here or paying more attention there. It is just the way the situation is. I don't have the power, and I allow the mothers of my children to give me the power. If they give me, when they give me the power, then sawa. To give me, to tell me that, by the way, Mike, hata kwanza mchukue mkae naye the whole year. Sawa. But it's not on me, right? It's not for me to decide, because the minute I decide, then I start causing friction. Then you start ending up in court. Then you start hating each other. Before you know it, you're affecting the child. And so I'd rather go with my daughter's mom's pace. When you feel you're ready, me, I'll never stand here and deny my child. Ever. It will never happen. I am always here. Tell me.
So to just get it clear, Mike, have you been given the power?
Have I been given the power?
Yes.
For my youngest, no. For my eldest, partial. Yeah, a bit of it, but not too much. But for my youngest, no. That power was stripped away from me completely, fully. Like those ones of almost like, you know what, that isn't your kid. You know, that kind of like yani completely, no matter how much you try to ask, that, you know, you want access to your child, it's always denied. So I decided that's cool, fine. If that's how you feel, if you change your mind, for me, as far as I know, see, my name is on the birth certificate. Mini Baba yake. I'll always be here.
And in that particular case where you are avoiding, the push and pull, but still you want to provide for your child. Now, what happens?
I don't know about how other people deal with it, but for me, I'm not big. In fact, to some extent, I don't think it is fair that a man sends money to their baby mama when they don't have access to their child. I don't think it's fair at all. Because, I mean, think about it this way. How do I know my child is okay? I could be sending money to you and that child is sleeping hungry. You know what I mean? I could be sending money to you and that child is wearing torn clothes. Just like, for example, when you go to work, right? See, your employer has to see your work and then pay you commensurate. When you go to a supermarket, see, you go, you see the product and then you pay for it. Show me one place where you give money and you don't see the product. Where in the world does it exist? Never. Yeah? It's even for people who donate money, even for grants. When you give money, you want to see that the project is running properly. Where I'm giving this money, where I'm giving it, let's say I'm nasaidia mayatima. How are those yatimas being treated? Sindio? So for me, I'm of the opinion, if I can't see my child, then I can't give you money. But if you want me to provide for you financially, in any way, shape, or form, give me my child and give me my child outside of you. You don't have to be there. Me, I'll come pick my child up, spend the weekend with my child, return my child home. That's simple, right? Nikurudishie. Nikutaka nimchukue Saturday asubuhi nikurudishie Sunday jioni. Perfect. No problem. Ama ukitaka niende naye for a week. Sawa, no problem. But outside of you. It can't be that the time I spend my time with my child, you have to be sitting there like a watchman, walking around. No, I am still that child's father. And if you cannot trust me to have the best interest for that child, then who else do you trust? Who else are you going to trust? Yeah. Unless you're going to tell me there's someone, like, I don't know, your grandfather or your grandmother who's ready to take up that responsibility, which for me will be a bit ridiculous considering, see, I'm here. Why don't you give me that responsibility? And I don't understand women, for example, who carry that practice of saying, because he did this to me, he's never going to see his child. It's really bad. And I think encourage your children to see their fathers. That's a very good practice. You should do it all the time. But also for the men, they need to understand that while this child is in your care, that you have to be responsible about it. You can't change the quality of life of that child, right? That child is in your care. Make sure that child is taken care of and is okay, is safe, and is getting everything that they need. Yeah, because you can't take a child from a stable environment to take them to an unstable one. That for me is wrong. You'd rather even put that child with your auntie. Yeah, but if you can maintain that, then why not? And I believe I can. Yeah, I mean, I've done it before. You can do it again, surely. Yeah.
And I must imagine that being blocked from seeing your own child's hurts. Do you then tell them that this really hurts me?
Yes, I have. Let me put it this way. I have, and I don't like admitting it, but I'll admit it. I have even gone to the extent of locking myself in my room and just breaking down. Because my kids' stuff are still in my house. They're still there. Yeah? And you see it every day. And you wonder, how are they? How is she doing? And you send a message, nothing. No response. You try and call, not picked up. And if it's picked up, you're abused. I mean, what do? You close yourself in a room, you cry, give it a good cry. You wake up in the morning and the world continues. But like I always say to people who do that, by the way, to men, understand this. Kids grow up. That kid is going to be a teenager very soon. And they'll ask, where is my dad? The same way you're treating me, I want you, when she asks that question, please tell her the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Because if you don't do it as the mother, then I will. When I sit down with her and I'll tell you, my baby girl, this is why I wasn't there. This is the whole story. And I'll tell it in front of you. And people who know me that I'm crazy enough to do it. I will call you. There are people in my life, I've called the entire family. Told them, sit here. This is why this is happening. This woman either shapes up, or if she can't, by the way, me, I'm out. And I've done it. So I don't mind doing it. For me, I'm really a person who really doesn't give an F about a lot of things. I really don't. The only thing I care about are my children, my family, my job. Period. Your reputations and whatever's, that's on you. If you want to go and try and punish me all you want. But one day you will need me. And when that day comes, please be sure, we will address what you did to me.
Do you think sometimes both men and women, when you're co-parenting with people who've moved on, they make it more difficult because they haven't moved on?
Yes. Very true. Yes. There are men, both sides, let me tell you. Men and women, both sides. This is not particular to one gender.
Yes.
There are people who don't want to move on. You have to understand that moving on is part of life, right? This did not work. This is over. It's done. But however, let's assume you have a child. If you have a child together, however, now you're stuck with this person for the rest of your life, the best thing you can do is find a way to live in a reasonable arrangement. You understand? Now, if you don't even want that reasonable arrangement because you're carrying your own bitterness and resentment towards that person, because now you're saying, he did this to me or she did this to me, so I'm going to punish her or punish him. How is that not the most selfish act ever? And yet we say parents are selfless. That is the most selfish, ridiculous thing in the world. People can run out of love. People can break up. People can decide we are not good together. But however, it doesn't change the fact that a child exists. So if you've not moved on, you need to make sure you sit down with yourself, ujite mkutano, and by the way, find a way to move on. and stop hanging on to a situation that you know is not going to last, and you know it's not going to be healthy for that child that is involved.
Because Mike, you have moved on, and you mentioned to me in our previous interview that after 40, if you're not married, kaput. Shiko akona hopes. Ama, is it part of his marriage, part of your plan?
Yeah, but we are engaged.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we've not been engaged for long. Yeah, but yes, before this year ends, Shiko will be my wife. Yeah. Why is that shocking?
Because in an interview, was it last year interview? It was a 2022 interview or 2023 interview. You told me once umefika 14 hauna mtu, hauna umefunga.
Sawa. Nikuulize, hiyo time, are you the same Kalondu as the Kalondu now? No, sindio? Yeah. See, I'm a different Mike now. Yeah. I've grown. It's part of life. Some of the statements I may make in my I may have made when I'm in my 30s are not the same statements I'd make now. I mean, people grow, opinions change, you evolve, right? But at the moment, you make opinions and you make judgments based off what is happening at the moment, right? When I'm 50, will I still think the same way as I do now? Who knows? Yeah, maybe not. But I can only make a decision for where I'm at now. Yeah. That decision is, I will get married to this woman. Yeah, and after we get married, we will continue our life as we are, and hopefully with God's blessing, goes all the way till tukiwa wazee na wakongwe.
And are 5 kids enough? You guys are also.
It's over. It's over. The amount of money you spend, children are expensive. I don't kid yourself by the thinking ati anakuja na sahani yake. Kids are expensive, and to give them, at least I look at it like they're expensive to give them the life you want. Yeah. Things like everyday activities, shopping for clothes. Kwanza clothes, my gosh, the way they overgrow their clothes like Evie. Yeah. And then things like school fees, things like medical care. Hey, sometimes you can sit down and tell yourself, Baba, if you get through this, you're a ninja. Yeah. But it's a beautiful journey. The beauty of it is enjoying those smiles, the happiness, the laughter. Like, there's no feeling like it. To come home and see kids running at you and saying, hey, welcome home, and jumping on you and hugging you, and that feeling is unmatched. So at the end of the day, it's worth it. But Shiko and I are not having any more kids. It's a wrap. Yeah. It's over.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was a love story. Oh my goodness, just order it. Yeah. Okay. And Mike, you could just talk to someone who is making co-parenting hard, to just advise them, just tell them something.
You're not doing yourself any favors. If you're making it difficult to co-parent, you're not doing yourself any favors. The only things you need to really know is the person you've introduced into your child's life a worthy person of your child's affection and time and energy? And if they are, you have to expect it of that person that they must accept your child as their own. Once you do that, don't make it complicated. Understand that the other person has an ex, and those exes can be difficult. Be there for them when that ex is making it frustrating. Understand that children are children regardless. Doesn't matter if it came from your seed or from another person's seed, mtoto ni mtoto. Treat all kids equally. And most importantly, never forget, it is your life. You'll be judged for it by a lot of society who will tell you, people say some really nasty things like, oh, Nanza game 1-0 or things like that. People will judge you. But always tell yourself, for those people who judge you, that is what is called bitterness brought forward. That is ni uchungu. Kwa sababu kwa hii maisha, you pick your journey, you pick your path, tukisimama mbele ya Mungu, you'll be judged by yourself and by your choices. So please, just try and make it easy. You're not doing any favors to anyone by trying to complicate her life. That you're a stepdad to someone and you're treating that child badly. How does it help? It doesn't help you in any way. Make that child grow so that in their hearts they can see you equally as a father. Yeah.
And finally, does Shiku listen to you on radio? And what is her opinion of your statements and opinions on radio?
Oh, my statements. Yeah, I know she does. She always tells me she doesn't like the things I say on the drive show. She tells me like, Mike, why do you say that? And you know that's not you. And which is true. But I try and explain it to her that, radio is theater of the mind. Yeah. And sometimes things can be exaggerated. Yeah. But not to say that I am that person. If I say something on air, that's purely for entertainment purposes. Not necessarily that I believe in what I'm saying. However, if I'm informing you about something factual, then that I have to be factual about it. But if I'm talking about a story of me blacking out in a car after a night out, I mean, maybe it didn't happen because that would never be me. But it's entertainment. Let's talk. You can't start. I mean, if you look at Denzel Washington, the roles he plays on movies is not who he is as a person, right? They are two different things. So the only difference, he's on a screen, I'm on radio. So if I'm on radio, I have to create that theater. I have to make your mind feel engaged and feel entertained. And so that's why sometimes I may go a bit too far. But she knows. She always tells me, but it's not you. Why are you saying that? And I'm like, come on. Nikazi tu, tuko job.
Yeah. So, well, thank you so much, Mike. We really do appreciate you.
Asante sana Kalondu, always a pleasure. Yeah. Unanipeleka nyama lini?
Lini? Maybe before, during, you will let us know when you're getting married. So,
On the day of the marriage?
No, not on the day of the marriage, because so that we know when to come and paparazzi your wedding.
Paparazzi. No. That one is not going to happen. Kalondu. Me, I'll just tell you, hey, by the way, Niaje, imagine I got married yesterday, it was dope.
Is it gonna be like a private wedding, so much private wedding, and then people wataingia munyimwe phones and stuff like that?
No comment.
Your vision of your wedding.
If you ever get a chance to interview Shiku, I'll let Shiku tell you.
Yeah.
Or maybe go slide into a DM and tell her and ask her.
Yeah.
But I no comment, I'm not telling you.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, where Kalondu? Who walks around with cameras everywhere? Hey.
Hey man, let me tell you, they usually say that when a man has found the one, he has found the one. Like yourself, you meet in less than a year, you get engaged, you move in together. Like they say, ukisha.
Mtu asikudanganye. Men know who they are going to marry.
Yeah.
If they've stayed with you over a year, actually let me even make it less. Men know within 6 months whether or not they're going to marry you. Did you know that? Within 6 months they know. If they are still with you, it's now year 1.5, year 2, year 5, still atibado ni atini boss my dear jipe shughuli.
For real?
Men know they know. Come on, we talk about this in bars. And they know mtu anakuambia huyu ni wa kupitisha time. Huyu ni wa hii, huyu ni wa ile. But when a man wants to marry you, let me tell you, a man, if he truly wants to marry you, do you think he's going to wait? He won't wait. I'm telling you, in under 6 months, that man will put a ring on your finger.
Yeah.
Because men are competitive. And if he saw something in you that was worth it, he doesn't want another man to have it. And the only way he can secure that is 2 ways. Either he gets you pregnant, which we've seen in life doesn't necessarily work, or he puts a ring on it. In fact, there's a running joke where men say, dem ukimwachilia, ebu mpatie bola raka raka. Men say that because they know. It's not that they don't know. So we are mekaa 2 years, you've been engaged for 2 years. What is he waiting for? Na kama inakushinda sana, if you want to make this grand wedding na inakushinda, nenda pale Sheria House. Apply for AG's wedding na upige. But don't let a man lie to you. Men know. And they make their intentions clear. Yeah, they make that intention clear. I knew I was going to marry Shiku. I knew it for a fact. Yeah, the only thing was that I didn't know how, whether or not she wanted to. You understand? Like, because she was coming from a very traumatic space. So I had to be gentle in how we get to that point. But that's why I told you I took the hint, as much as we talked about marriage, but it was never yet solidified. And so when she was Googling and checking out rings, I knew, nice. And that's why I saw it as my opportunity. And that's why I said, order it now. Because I knew if I let it slide, she won't wait that long.
Church wedding or AG wedding?
No comment.
I'm still getting to the gist. No but he won't let me in with the gist. Thank you so much, Mike.
Nashukuru sana.
All right, and we also do appreciate you, and thank you so much as well for watching. My name is Kalendu Musimi. Behind the camera is director Ivy. Bye. Wambia bye. Bye. Let's tupatane pale kwa wedding rings. Ivy put some wedding bells here.
Never. Karibu sana.